This video is sponsored by Logitech. With the latest update to the Mevo Multicam app, you can bring in wired HDMI sources like the ATEM Mini and mix them alongside your wireless Mevo cameras. The Mevo Core is a wireless micro four thirds camera from Logitech. It is the easiest way to live stream with multiple wireless cameras with the quality you expect from a micro four thirds camera. I already have a video that goes into more detail of the cameras, so I'll link to that below. But sometimes you want to mix in a video from a wired HDMI source into your production as well. Well, now with the latest version of the Mevo Multicam app and iPadOS 17, you can bring in another video source from a wired camera. In iPadOS 17, Apple added the ability to use external webcams into apps, and the latest version of the Mevo Multicam app added support for this new feature. So why would you want to do this? There's a few different ways that you can use this along with your Mevo cameras. Of course, you can use a regular wired webcam along with your Mevo cameras now, but that's not super interesting because most webcams are going to be much worse quality than the Mevo Core cameras. One reason you might actually want to use a webcam with these is for the more specialized webcams, like maybe a USB microscope or a document camera, or the auto PTZ cameras like the OBSBOT Tiny or the Insta360 Link. But a much more interesting use is to be able to bring in HDMI sources that are not cameras, like a computer screen or a game console. So for example, if you're filming a conference, you could use one Mevo Core camera with a zoom lens to film a close-up shot of the presenter, and then another Mevo Core with a wide angle to get a shot of the room. But now you need the presenter's slides from their computer. Or if you're doing a live stream of a game, you could have one camera that is the main shot of you, another with a wide shot of you in the room, and then of course, now you need your video game in the stream as well. Well, the way this works is that since most HDMI capture cards appear as webcams, you can actually plug in an HDMI capture card into your iPad and then connect whatever you want into that. Speaking of things that look like webcams, another way to go is to connect a whole bunch of cameras to an ATEM Mini and then take the USB out of the ATEM Mini into your iPad. And then you can mix a bunch of wired cameras along with other wired HDMI sources and switch them along with your Mevo Core wireless cameras. So now that you're thinking about how you could use this for your own productions, let's take a closer look at how to actually set this up. First, we'll go over the physical connections, and then we'll dive into the Mevo Multicam app. So the magic that makes this all work is the capture card. Now, I tried a couple of capture cards and they didn't all work, but the Elgato CamLink was a solid option. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for this video. Now, this is USB-A and it can't directly plug into the USB-C on the iPad, but you also wouldn't want to do that anyway because you're going to want to do things like power your iPad. So I strongly suggest that you also get a USB hub. Now, I chose this one. I'll leave a link to this below. I chose this one because it has a couple of ports that we're going to use for this. We can give it power. It can also provide USB-C out in case you want to use a USB-C capture card. It has two USB-A ports, HDMI out, as well as wired Ethernet. Once this is all wired up, we can take the USB-C and plug this into the iPad. So now that I've got the USB-C hub connected here, I can go and add a new camera source. I've also got two wireless cameras already connected in here, which are just connected through the normal setup in the Mevo app. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the plus here. And if you do have the hub connected, you should see this new option here called webcam and UVC inputs. Now it is really important to note that this is only in iOS 17 and only on the newer iPads. A Lightning iPad doesn't support this, so if you're not seeing it show up in the app, that's probably why. The iPad I'm using is the iPad Pro 11-inch with the M4 processor, and I have updated to the latest iOS 17.5.1. So this feature is limited to the Pro version of the Multicam app. I've gone ahead and enabled a 14-day free trial of the app here, and that is enabling me to show you this feature on the iPad. So it's a 14-day free trial, then there's a monthly or annual subscription option after that. Once you have all that turned on, you should see this webcam and UVC inputs option here. I'm gonna click that, and it found the CamLink 4K here. I'm gonna go ahead and click connect, and click continue here. And now it's bringing in the UVC capture option. Now for this video, I've actually got my computer screen plugged in here. So this is a copy of whatever's on my computer. So here I'm just pulling up my YouTube Studio stats for the last Mevo video, and now I can cut to this just like any other camera. I can switch between a wireless camera, the front view or my side view, or now my computer screen. And now I can use this computer screen just like any other source in any of the layouts. So let's, for example, create a picture-in-picture layout. I'll click on picture-in-picture, I'll select which one do I want in the picture-in-picture frame. I want my main camera here inside the frame, and I can move this around. I can change the size. I can make it portrait if I wanted to just frame in on me here. I'm gonna make that stroke a little bit smaller. We'll go ahead and click done. And now I have the picture-in-picture as a graphic here. So now when I go back to the camera switching, I can click on my computer screen to show that full screen, but then go and bring in the picture-in-picture on top of it. I mentioned this also works with an ATEM Mini, so let's take a look at what that looks like as well. All right, so now I've got an ATEM Mini set up in front of me here. I've got the iPad on top of this ATEM Mini. This is a PK1 stand for the ATEM Mini with the little clips to be able to support the iPad. I'll leave a link to this down below as well. So the ATEM Mini has a couple of cameras plugged in. Let me share the multi-view with you so you can see what that is. In the ATEM Mini, I've got my main camera and I've got this side angle as well as an Apple TV in camera 3. Nothing in camera 4 right now. So now I've got these 3 cameras, 3 different angles plugged into the ATEM, which I can switch between using the buttons on the ATEM. So the HDMI out of the ATEM Mini goes to a monitor, and that is the monitor behind me here. And this way I can see the multi-view out of the ATEM Mini and see all the camera angles and be able to see what's going on those different angles. But now we can take the USB out from the ATEM and go into this little hub and actually bring it into the iPad. So I still have my 2 wireless cameras from the Mevo here. I also have the CamLink, which is capturing my computer screen. I'm gonna go ahead and click plus here again. And now you can see that it actually shows 2 inputs found. So in the iPad here, I can see I have 2 UVC inputs found. I'll go ahead and tap on that. And it's showing me the CamLink is still connected. And now it's also giving me the option to connect to the Blackmagic Design ATEM. So I'll go ahead and just tap on connect. And we'll click continue. And now back on the main screen of the app here, I now see I have my 2 wireless Mevo cameras, as well as the CamLink capture, as well as the Blackmagic. And now as I'm pressing buttons on the ATEM, you can see that it's going to switch this one here. The wireless cameras, of course, have a delay, and this is actually also adding a delay so that the wired cameras more closely match the wireless delay. Well, I hope this has shown you how much more productive and interesting you can make your live streams with the new update to the Mevo Multicam app. Now you can bring in all sorts of different kinds of video using a USB capture card in the Mevo Multicam app. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or if you have anything else you would like to see me demo on a live stream in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.